Today on the channel, on Quick Hitters, we're going to learn how to play Detroit Rock City by Kiss. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to learn how to play Detroit Rock City by Kiss. Alright, so everybody knows who Kiss are. You know, they're the hottest band in the world, right? Love them or hate them, Kiss have changed music forever and have been a big influence for rock and roll bands, for marketing, and they have a fan base that is undeniably probably one of the most loyal fan bases in the world. So, and they're still going at it, right? This is what, their third or fourth farewell tour. They're all in their 70s, I think. It's pretty amazing. Well, anyway, Detroit Rock City was off of the album Destroyer. Destroyer was their fourth studio album. Kiss had been really struggling. They didn't have any hits. Their first three albums really didn't generate any hits at all. Alive, when they recorded Kiss Alive, that really brought them into the public eye. Alive really launched Kiss's career. It saved Casablanca Records, and they came in with Bob Ezrin as a producer. They got Bob Ezrin from Alice Cooper, and Bob Ezrin produced Destroyer, and basically it was like Kiss going to boot camp, cracking down, playing their instruments. The material was stronger. I've read that Bob Ezrin rejected almost every song that Kiss brought in for Destroyer except Detroit Rock City and God of Thunder, which Bob Ezrin rewrote those songs. And in Detroit Rock City, Bob Ezrin wrote the guitar solo, and Ace and Paul had to learn those parts, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. So anyway, Casablanca Records was saved by Destroyer, by Alive rather, and then Destroyer was a big success. It sold about 850,000 copies when it came out. Lord, now it's probably gone at least a couple times platinum, I would think. It's been out since 1976. It came out March 15th of 1976, and it debuted at number 11. And it was recorded in the famous Electric Lady Studios. So let's take a look at Detroit Rock City. One cool thing about Detroit Rock City, there's some cool harmony guitar parts in it. I'm going to show you how I have always played it, how I learned it off the record years ago. And I listened back to it just a little bit tonight just to make sure I was on par. So hopefully everything here will make sense. If you've got a single, if you're only one guitar player playing this, it's okay. You can play the primary part in the guitar solo, and if you play in a band and you've got another player, you guys can work on some harmonies. So let's take a look at this. We're going to do this kind of quickly. There's only 3 or 4 parts in this song, and it's pretty basic, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on the guitar solo. So this song is in E flat. Kiss had tuned to E flat. I'm not sure if that was to so Paul and Gene could sing on key a little bit better, if it was easier on their voice, or if they just felt like it was cooler in E flat. But we're in E flat today. So this song, the song's in C sharp minor, and it starts off with this lick. So let's take a look at this lick. This lick it's based off of C sharp minor tonality, but the riff starts on the C sharp, which is the A string on the 4th fret. And what I'm doing is I'm playing with my middle finger and my pointer finger, and I'm pulling off. So I'm hitting the C sharp, and I'm pulling off to the B, all on the A string, 4th and 2nd fret. I'm just picking one stroke and pulling off. And then A, then to a B, then repeat. Now I believe that's probably Paul Stanley doing that part, and then Ace, maybe it's Paul, but I think it's Ace comes in with. So you'll hear that harmony on the record. So it'll start off. Then. So what he's doing is he's on the D string and he's on the 6th and the 4th fret. Same technique applied. Then A, C sharp minor, okay? So in this song, the verse starts off, he says, feel all right on a Saturday night. C sharp minor to an E, to a B, to an F sharp. And they're not really playing all the notes in these chords. I mean, you could, if you were a second guitar player in the band, you could lightly play more of the notes in the chord behind the main power chord. Kiss did that a lot. Ace a lot of times would play the same power chord but more notes, maybe a little bit less distorted, you know, or he might go up here and go like in a different position and play the same chord somewhere else. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to be playing basically just root and 5th and root, 3-string chords here. So does that a couple times. Then the chorus where he goes get up, it's then to a B. Okay, so that's really the meat and potatoes of this song. The verse, and then sometimes they'll go like kind of like You Really Got Me to that A. So now there's this little lick. It's kind of like a solo, but it's really a breakdown. The first time they do that, they just play it a little bit. They give you a taste of what's coming later on in the song, and it goes like. It turns around, does kind of that chorus part, then back to. So what I'm doing there is. That's a C sharp minor lick. So bring yourself down here. It looks like we're in the F sharp minor position, but we're really in C sharp minor, just in a position that a lot of people aren't used to playing it in. We're going to start with the ring finger on C sharp, kind of like we're going like that part, but we're going. So what I did was I went one stroke and then I hit it again and pulled off. And I'm going to play the A flat or G sharp on the 4th fret on the E string. And come back up to that C sharp. And then we're going to go, which is C sharp, B, C sharp, then E on the D string, and back to C sharp. And that last thing is, so that's a G sharp on the E string, 4th fret, a B note on the A string, E string, or E note on the D string, and C sharp on the 4th fret on the A string. So all together, slowly, it's... And then we do that little tag chorus thing. Then we repeat the same verse and the same chorus part all over again. It does that a couple times and comes back around. Get up, everybody's gonna move their feet. Everybody's gonna leave their seat. So the next time it goes into this little breakdown part, it's significantly longer. All right, and it goes something like this. So if you're going to forget something on this song when you play it live, it's this part. In fact, I'm not even sure I'm going to get it right the first time I show it to you when we play it slowly, because it always confuses me. But you just have to repeat it and listen to this song a million times to get it right. By the way, this part is on the album version. If you look on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Music, if you look for this song, you got to find the version that's like 5.5 minutes long, that's got the 1.5-minute introduction of the guitar or the car accident in the beginning of the song, because the radio edit version that they've got on so many greatest hits albums and stuff doesn't have all the original guitar parts on it. So make sure you look at that, listen to that version to match what we're doing today. So this longer breakdown part, slowly. Then the drums go. So what that part is he comes up to the 6th fret on the G string. So we're going to go 3 times and then 1 time pull off 4th fret on the G string, and then the D string on the 6th fret, and then we're going to play the F sharp on the A string on the 4th fret. That's kind of tricky. So once again, then it goes up 1 step. And we turn around. So rather than try explain and call out the notes on this, I'm going to play it slowly, and of course I'm going to have the tablature on the screen. So that whole part slowly. Hopefully I'll get it right. It's like a little puzzle. You just have to memorize those notes and listen to the album and basically, memorize it and get it right. Okay, so then it goes back into another verse. Couple times through that, then it does a little drum, diddle 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 dent. Okay, and then the guitar solo. There's 3 parts in this guitar solo. The part 1 and part 3 are the same exact things in C sharp minor, but they're an octave apart from each other. So while one is the part 1 is in the standard C sharp minor position here. So I'll play that for you. Then I'll do it slowly with the tablature. Once again, a lot to memorize there. So we're going to take it slowly, and I'll show you the tablature. Basically what we're doing is, you got to remember this C sharp minor position, right? C sharp minor is a relative minor to E major, okay? They're the same key. An E major scale is the same thing as a C sharp minor scale. And that's an E major scale right there. So if you memorize, if you know where the scale is, it'll make this part really easy for you, because basically when you do harmony parts, most guitar parts, especially in the 70s that had harmonies, they played thirds apart from each other. So if you're in this scale and you're going, if you're in E major, and let's say and you wanted to do a harmony part to that, you would, I'm playing that C minor scale or E major scale. Well, since we're starting on this note, a third above that would be this. You would just play the same part a third above it on the scale. So if you're playing this note on that scale, a third above that would be here, and together they sound like, they're all over the place. You can do, you know, rather than try to figure it out on your own and like, oh, how do I do harmonies? If you knew this major scale, I'm just noodling around on the scale. If you're going to do a harmony in thirds, when you're playing that scale, that second part, you just start 3 notes ahead of that and just play the scale above each note that you play. And you got to think about it sometimes. It's not always the same way, but that's a good fundamental way to write harmonies, and that's what Kiss pretty much did with this guitar solo. So back to this guitar solo. I'll put up the tablature and I'll play it slowly. We're starting on the D string on the 6th fret. Starts like this, so we'll go. much that's it. And then to do the third part, that's part one. The third part is going to be all the way up here. You can play it just up here at an octave. So if you memorize this down here, you just play the same exact thing up here an octave. Now, the harmony part is a little bit different. So it starts off, and the harmony that we're going to do is, so we're starting on the G string on the 4th fret, going to the B string on the 4th fret, the B string on the 7th fret, and then back to the 5th fret on the B string. Then we go like this. So it's pretty much like that. We're harmonizing with, but you got to remember that when it comes in, it doesn't come in immediately. The solo first starts by itself. And then the harmony part comes in, but it doesn't do all this all the way through. It goes. So it's a little bit shorter theme, so it's going to go. So basically, you just got to think of it this way. When he's going, you're going to go. So when the first part is down here, we're going to be up here. We're going to end here. And when he's down here, we're going to be ending that harmony part here. So first part. You can play around with it a little bit. I mean, you can go. But I hear them going when they resolve. And it sounds beautiful because you got one guitar doing. And that one part up top is going. On the tablature, I'll write out something that'll work and make sure it synchronizes with the bottom part that I'm doing. And when you add this octave, that part on top of, and then that harmony, it creates a massive symphonic sound, which is totally Bob Ezrin's production working on that, and that made that song beautiful. So probably the nicest part of this particular song is the guitar solo. It's very thematic and very important. So I hope this makes sense. You'll have to look at the tablature. I encourage you to play along to the album and memorize these parts by ear and get familiar with it on the record or the on YouTube or digitally, and then put it together on the fretboard. But there you go, Detroit Rock City by Kiss. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.